Hey guys. Um, okay, Andrea has me live. Hey guys, it's Carol Stinson. Sorry, I had a little bit of problems signing into my Insider Elite account tonight. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to answer questions throughout the broadcast, but I will be able to jump onto another computer and answer them afterwards. So tonight, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about land trust. I've had a lot of questions regarding land trust. I've had a lot of people asking me about land trust and when to use them, how to use them. So I just kind of wanted to go through a little bit and explain to you guys exactly what a land trust is and why it's really important to know about how to use them and when to use them as a wholesaler. So as many of you know, a land trust is basically a method of it's kind of like a bowl that contains real estate. It's a method of using real estate. And what it is in a land trust, the trustee of the land trust is actually the title holder of the land trust. The trustee holds title to the real estate, and the beneficiary within the land trust is the one that actually controls the real estate. So the beneficiary is actually the one that tells the trustee what to do. And when people look up a property in records, they only see the land trust name, and they really never get to see who the beneficiaries are. So it's kind of like a cover. If you want to cover yourself on a certain piece of real estate, a lot of people use a land trust because when people look it up in the public records, they're just going to see like 1, 2, 3 land trust, and then the trustee's name is going to be there as the contact person, and they never really know that you own that piece of property. So it's kind of like a bowl that you put a property into with a cover on it that never lets anybody else know who actually owns that piece of property. So that's what a land trust does and what it is. The reason why it's really important to know about a land trust in wholesaling is because if you use a land trust and you put a property in the name of a land trust, like your offer, you never have to double close a property ever. It saves you a lot on double closing time. It saves you a lot of money on double closings because especially with REOs, I don't know how it is in your state, but in New Jersey, you cannot double close an REO. It's just forbidden. You have to hold an REO for 30, 60, or 90 days before you can change title on that property. So double closing on an REO or a short sale or a foreclosure property does not happen in the state of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or anywhere on the East Coast that I know of. So we cannot double close them, and Lord knows you can't assign them because there's no assignment clause in the contract. So if you can't assign them and you can't double close them, how are you supposed to wholesale them? So the only way that I have figured out on how to wholesale these properties is with a land trust. Because let's say that you put an offer on a property, even if you put the offer on the property in your company name, okay? Give the proof of funds in the LLC name, your company name, you make the offer in that name. But if that offer gets accepted, you want to put that purchase agreement, the name of that buyer on the purchase agreement needs to be a land trust. Okay, so even though you are the one that made the offer, your company made the offer, you can tell the agent that you want the buyer on that property to be 1, 2, 3 land trust or whatever land trust you make up. So that way on the purchase agreement, the land trust is named as the buyer, even though you sign, because guess what? You are going to become the trustee of that land trust, okay? So I'll back up. When you put an offer on a property, you put the offer in as your company name, you show the proof of funds, because you can't get a POF in a land trust name because nobody's going to give that to you. You have to get a POF in the name of an LLC because that's generally, or an incorporation, that's generally the way they do it. So you want to put the offer in on a property, on a wholesale property, you put it in your company name and the POF in your company name. But if the offer gets accepted, you just need to tell that agent that you want the buyer on that contract to be the land trust. So if the buyer on that contract is 1, 2, 3 land trust and you sign as the trustee of that land trust, now land trusts do not get created until the day of closing. You can't create a land trust until there's something to put in the land trust. So the actual land trust itself, even though you have the name of the trust on the contract, on the purchase agreement, the land trust itself does not get created until the day of closing, until the day that there's a property to put into that land trust. And what you do on that day, what you're going to do is you're going to assign the beneficial interest of that land trust over to your buyer. That way the name never changes of the buyer on the contract. The name on the contract always remains 123 Land Trust. And you're just assigning the beneficial interest within the land trust over to your buyer for a fee. And when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to create the land trust at closing with you as the beneficiary and you as the trustee. So when that land trust gets created by the title company or the attorney at closing, you're the trustee and you're the beneficiary when it's created. And then there's another document there that's an assignment of beneficial interests. And what the title company or attorney is going to do is take you as the beneficiary. You're going to assign your rights as beneficiary over to your buyer with the assignment contract for the beneficial interest at closing to where he becomes the beneficiary. And that's where you get your fee. You get your fee on that trust beneficiary assignment contract that goes into play at closing. From you to the buyer at closing. So what they would do is at closing, they would list that fee as an assignment of beneficial interests for a certain fee, whatever that fee is that you negotiated with your buyer, will go into the HUD-1 and you'll get paid through that. And that's a great way to wholesale REOs and foreclosures because the name on the purchase agreement never changes, which is what they want. They don't want the name to ever change title, which is why you can't double close. So if you keep the name as 123 Land Trust on the contract, that's the name that's going to close on the property. But the only difference is now instead of you being the beneficiary, now your buyer is the beneficiary. So you're kind of assigning the interest in the land trust over to your buyer. So that's a great way to do wholesale REOs, wholesale foreclosures, wholesale your short sales. You want to use the land trust to do that because you never have to double close. The assignment's happening within the land trust. You never have to worry about the no assignment clauses because you actually bypass them. So you might not be able to assign the contract on the property, and that's fine. So what you're doing is you're actually assigning the beneficial interest of the within the land trust over the buyer. The bank never sees that. So again, it's a great way to be able to assign and retail property, any property. Really, what I've started doing is I started putting every single offer that I put in on property, I put in the name of the land trust. For example, say Camden County, New Jersey, okay? It'll be Camden County Land Trust 1. Camden County Land Trust 2, Camden County Land Trust 3, and I just keep on going and just adding the numbers to it so that I can vary the land trust. I do 25 offers in a week. Each offer that I put in the name of land trust has a different number. So I'll go from, if I put 25 offers in on properties, again, I'm putting them into my company name, but when it comes time to the purchase agreement, that purchase agreement is going to have the 123 Land Trust 2 or 3 or whatever one I decide for that property. So you want to make your offers in your name. You want to go ahead and do your POF in your name and the company name. When it comes time for the contract, you make sure you put the land trust name on there. And I actually put all of my offers for the contracts. I automatically put the land trust name in there because right now I'm wholesaling high-end properties, so a lot of times I don't want the seller knowing what I make on a property. So a lot of times when I do a high-end wholesale deal, even if it's a regular assignment deal, even if it's not an REO, I'll still put it in the name of a land trust because the seller never knows that I'm assigning the benefit. They never know how much I make on the property, so it's never brought to their attention how much I actually make on the property. So I don't have to double close the property and I don't have to worry about the notice clause. So again, land trusts are a great way to wholesale properties. They're the best way that I found to wholesale REOs and short sales and foreclosures. Because without a land trust, I would be stuck in New Jersey because we cannot double close REOs. You just can't do it. It's not going to happen because they do have the 30, 60, 90-day deed restrictions on them. Meaning, when you sign a purchase agreement with the bank, you sign an addendum agreement as well. And that addendum states that the title cannot change names for 30, 60, or 90 days. So if that title can't change names for 30, 60, 90 days, then you sure cannot double close that property that same day. So again, you know, to bypass that, I just went ahead and I came up with a land trust idea because it's a great way to just assign the beneficial interest over to your buyers. I am going to take some questions on the land trust and all the details. I'm going to have to step out and do that on another computer. I can't do that while I'm talking to you because for some reason my computer wouldn't log into IE and Andrea had to let me in, so I wouldn't be able to do both. But what I will do is I'm going to take some questions, but I'm going to have to step over to my regular desktop to do that. So just so you know, again, land trust, if you have any questions, give me about 2 minutes, okay? And I'm going to step out of here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and step into my computer, and then what I'll do is I'll actually come back here to kind of tie it up. Is that all right, Andrea? Good? Good. All right, so guys, just give me 1 second. I'm going to step out for a minute. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions. I just have to step over to another computer to do it, and then I'll come right back here and say goodbye to you guys. All right? Hold on.
So it's just good work. Within 67 hours until Saturday and Thursday. Did you see Derek's sources? On Thursday, Paris and I talked to him last time. I told him to discuss his matters, but he was worried about this one. He was worried. It was a contract. Derek sent the night to him for construction. I just said, I don't think it was serious. Contractors thought one hospital repairs is important to your office. Right now, students the best thing. Can I help you? My name's Jim. I'm okay. Yes, she takes up your minute. Actually, what would you leave her in here? I was hoping to speak with your husband. I'm sure you'd like to say since the series is always in relations, we should make it. We can leave. Do you this property now or are you calling? This is my number. Why don't you give me most of your phone? It's
Out of here, cat.
horrible smell. Why do you have a book in there?
Guys, for some reason, you guys are seeing my cat and my kids and everything else, and this is just not working. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to log out of the live cast, okay, so that and we'll just do, I'm sorry, this is so funny. We'll just do the chat, okay? I'm going to go over to the chat and try to answer your questions, and I'm going to actually go out of the live chat, okay? So just so you can't see my cat anymore. I'll be right over into the live chat. All right, guys? Thank you. Have a great night. I'm so sorry.